The kitchen air hung heavy, saturated with the scent of burnt toast and unspoken tension. I stood frozen, fingers gripping the counter edge as my wife's words cut through the morning calm like a knife. I'm on an intimacy strike, David. Don't touch me. Don't even try. Her voice was sharp, icy, her eyes avoiding mine as she poured coffee with a deliberate, almost mechanical calm. The mug trembled slightly in her hand, betraying the storm beneath her controlled exterior. My heart lurched violently, a visceral jolt like crashing into a wall at full speed. What did that even mean? An intimacy strike? After 12 years of marriage, 2 kids, and a life built on shared dreams and sacrifices, she was shutting me out. I tried to speak, but the words got stuck in my throat, tangled in a knot of confusion and growing dread. Claire turned away, her auburn hair catching the sunlight streaming through the window, and began wiping a counter that was already spotless. Silence stretched taut, a wire threatening to snap, and a darker feeling than suspicion began to creep in. Was this about last week's argument over the bills, or the long hours I'd been putting in at work, or was it something else? Something I hadn't anticipated? My mind raced, replaying her recent distance, the way she lingered on her phone, her clipped replies, the sudden girls' nights out that left her smelling faintly of a stranger's cologne. I shook my head, forcing myself to dismiss the thought. I had to trust Claire. What's going on? I managed, voice low and steady. You can't just drop that and walk away. Talk to me. She paused, her hand frozen on the counter, but didn't turn around. I just need space, David. That's all. Her tone was flat, rehearsed, as if she had practiced this exact moment. The kitchen clock ticked loudly, each second amplifying the chasm between us. I wanted to grab her, demand answers, but her words, "Don't touch me," echoed in my mind, pinning me in place. The rest of the day passed in a haze. I went to work, nodded at the right moments in meetings, but my mind wandered, dissecting every interaction of the past months. The signs had been there, hadn't they? Her pulling away in bed, claiming exhaustion. The late-night text dismissed as work. The new, sharp, musky perfume. Nothing like the soft floral scent she'd always loved. Each memory was a tiny wound, cumulative, forming a picture I didn't want to face. That evening, I spotted her phone on the couch, left carelessly while she tucked in the kids. My pulse quickened. I'd never snooped before, never had reason to, but the weight of her words pressed against me. Just one look, I told myself, just to put my mind at ease. My thumb hovered over the screen, guilt clawing at my chest. What kind of man doubts his wife like this? But the doubt was gnawing. I typed in her passcode, our anniversary, and opened her messages. The name at the top was unfamiliar. Evan. A co-worker she'd mentioned once in passing. The text hit like a gut punch. Miss you already. He'd written last night, followed by a heart emoji. Her reply, can't wait to see you tomorrow. My vision blurred, the words swimming on the screen. Weeks of messages stretched back, flirtatious, intimate, damning. You make me feel alive, she'd written. Alive? And what was I? The man who paid the mortgage, coached our son's soccer team, held her through miscarriages and triumphs. A dead weight? I set the phone down, hand shaking. The living room felt suffocating, walls closing in, the air thick with lavender from her candles. Upstairs, her soft voice floated down as she read to our daughter, the same voice that had just declared war on our marriage. The contrast churned my stomach. How could she be tender with our children while being so cruel to me? I wanted to scream, to confront her, but the kids were here, and the last thing they needed was to have their world shattered too. Instead, I waited, sitting in the dark, letting the glow of the phone burn into my retinas, letting anger simmer. When she came downstairs, her face softened briefly, as if she'd forgotten her own ultimatum. You okay? She asked, hesitating at the stairs. I forced a smile, voice steady despite the storm inside. Fine. Just thinking. I paused, letting the silence stretch, testing her. You sure you're okay? You seem distracted lately. Her eyes flickered for a second before she shrugged. Work's been crazy. You know how it is. She moved to the kitchen, busying herself with dishes, avoiding my gaze. The The lie was so smooth, so practiced, it cut deeper than her earlier words. I wanted to believe her, cling to the Claire I'd loved for over a decade. But the truth was clawing its way out, and I couldn't unsee it. The next morning, I woke before dawn, the weight of her betrayal pressing against my chest. I watched her sleep, peaceful, almost innocent, and felt a surge of conflicting emotions, love, rage, grief. I didn't want to lose her, but I couldn't live with this lie. As she stirred, I made a decision, born of hurt and defiance. If she could withhold intimacy, I could withhold something too. Over breakfast, I placed my coffee mug down with deliberate calm. Claire, if you're on an intimacy strike, I'm on a money strike. No more covering your expenses. You want space? Fine. Go to work. Pay your own way. Her fork froze, eyes widening. What are you talking about? She stammered, panic creeping in. The kids were at school. Thank God. So no audience watched this unraveling. You hurt me. I said, my tone colder than I intended. You want to shut me out? Then you're on your own. Starting now. Her face flushed, a mix of anger and guilt. That's not fair, David. You can't just... Not fair. I cut her off, voice rising. What's not fair is sneaking around, lying to my face. Who's Evan, Claire? Tell me. Color drained from her face. She opened her mouth, then closed it, twisting her hands in her lap. Silence filled the space, confirmation enough. I leaned forward, voice low, trembling with barely contained fury. How long have you been cheating? It's not what you think, she whispered, tears welling. It's complicated. I laughed, bitter and hollow. You're texting another man about how he makes you feel alive. What's complicated about that? She stood pacing, hands raking through her hair. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. You've been so distant, David. Always working, always stressed. I felt invisible. Her words stung, but didn't absolve her. So you found someone else instead of talking to me? We could have fixed this, Claire. We could have tried. I know, she sobbed, collapsing into a chair. I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. I don't know who I am anymore. Her confession hung raw and jagged between us. I wanted to hate her, walk away, never look back. But seeing her break down cracked something in me too. I thought of our kids, our home, the life we'd built. Could I throw it all away? Could I forgive her? I need time, I said finally, voice hoarse. But you need to figure out what you want, Claire, because I can't live like this. She nodded, tears streaming. And for the first time, I saw not just a woman who betrayed me, but the one who was lost, scared, drowning in her own choices. The kitchen clock ticked on, marking the seconds of our unraveling. I realized the real betrayal wasn't just her affair. It was the slow erosion of trust we'd both let happen, long before Evan's name lit up her phone. As I stepped outside to clear my head, the morning air sharp against my skin, the weight of an uncertain future pressed down. Would we rebuild, or was this the end? The answer lay in the silence we had both created, and it terrified me more than any text ever could.